Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Well, we're all aware that the summer has become a time of tournament trails from all over the country coming to our area to fish the St. Lawrence River. And the DEC is really looking closely at all this because I know a lot of us say, well, boy, there's so much pressure on the river. How is it affecting the fish? And there's so many parts of this story that need to be looked at and need to be told. Number one, more really super fishermen are using their skills to catch some of the biggest bass in the river. How is this affecting the population? Number two, when these bass are brought into weigh-ins, they're brought in from great distances in some cases. And so number one, how are the bass surviving? And where are they going once they're put back in the river? Are they returning to their original locations, or are they setting up new residences? These are some of the questions that the DEC is asking because, after all, their whole existence is about maintaining and protecting and even making better our whole fishery resource. So what has happened over the last few years is there's been sensors put at the bottom of the river in different locations. And what these sensors enable them to do there is when a fish passes by one of these sensors, it records it. And so now the DEC and the biologists are able to follow the path of what the fish are doing. Let's say we have a tournament in Messina, and a lot of the fishermen are fishing, they're going all the way to Clayton or even into Lake Ontario to catch their fish. And they're bringing them all the way back, and they go to weigh in, and hopefully they're still okay, and they're put back in the water, which they are, through a release boat. Well, then every one of these fish can be tracked as they traveled from one location to the other. And it gives us an idea of where do these populations end up? Do they return? Do they not return? And as more of the information comes in from this new program, we're going to have a better idea of that part of the state of the fishery. The other thing that's really critical is to establish what happens to these fish once they're put back in the water. How long do they survive? Can they maintain a new life and so forth? However, I'm only talking about tournament fish right now. But how about all the other populations of fish? How about the walleye? Because I want you to remember something that I think is really critical. Every single species of fish is a different animal from each other. And each one has different characteristics, different habits. Walleyes tend to be travelers, and they will travel a long distance. And now it enables us to figure whether the fish in Messina might travel all the way down the river or up the river to Clayton, come back, not come back, and even what some of the populations of walleyes do out in Lake Ontario. They might travel from their location in Lake Ontario and come all the way into the St. Lawrence River. And this is why the walleye fishing can be different at different times of the year in different locations. And we can say, oh, right now on the Canadian side, across from Ogdensburg, the fishing is really fantastic. But another month might occur, and the fish might be in a totally different location. And the fishing quality changes from one time to another because of their migration routes. And I think it's really important to remember that these fish, walleyes, really do migrate. Muskies may maintain their position in the St. Lawrence during the summer in one pretty much location, but when it becomes fall time, they start to move, and they will travel long, long distances. Remember, each fish have a different characteristic, not only in how they travel, how they eat, whether they like dark water or dark conditions or bright conditions. People say that smallmouth love sunlight. Walleyes hate sunlight. They go to the depths because they're so sensitive to light. And so remembering these things, remembering whether one species tends to feed more in the morning or more in the daytime. Others tend to feed more once it gets dark. They're nocturnal. And there's so many things to understand about fishing. But I guess my main point is that now the fish can be sort of viewed, looked at to see just what they're doing. Our advances in technology have given us much better chance to have a better look at the species around us. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.